Well, Golchinam, gang, 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 it's your boy here, the Nemesis. And on today's fun episode of Metal News, apparently some racist bands ended up playing at the legendary Harpos, and it's riled everybody up. Now, personally, I've been seeing this. I didn't know it was gonna be at Harpos. That was kind of based on Harpos. First off, that's weird that it's still weird that it's there. But this whole thing has been teased for months. A lot of the local scene has been spinning around a fucking poster of all the bands that were supposed to play. I thought it was gonna be in somebody's basement, to be fair. That's where I'm a little torn on this whole issue, because when I first saw this, I was like, man, you know what? This is America. They're allowed to have whatever beliefs they freaking want. And this whole shutting people down because of their beliefs, isn't that something that, like, you were trying to, like, get away from? Because you're starting to act like them. You're acting more like Nazis than the actual fucking Nazis. That's besides. When I found out it was at Harpo's, that completely changed my mind on everything. Because it really is a point where it's like, you know, if it was like a bar, like some bar in the middle of nowhere, and it was going to be a good night for them, you kind of like sway me on, you know, maybe we shouldn't come out with the pitchforks and shit. But it's at Harpo's. And that's an actual established, like, place that's had, like, bigger bands than these chuckle fucks. It's very weird because we're gonna go through this article, and I read a little bit of it and it kind of twisted my mind, but maybe we can go through it together and figure it out and find out how this happened. This week on Metal News from a dipshit. Oh boy, ain't that some shit. In an era where literal Nazis are marching on American streets and a South African robber baron is doing Nazi salutes from behind the presidential podium. Okay, alright. I gotta, once again, my classic, I gotta cut into this. We're not gonna go, like, I don't know, I could probably find the writer of this, Hesher Keenman. So we're going to probably have a few of his political beliefs in here. This is coming from Metal Sucks, so this is more like a blog than an actual, like, news site, so keep that in mind. But I'm sure if you're watching this, some people are going to be like, no, fucking, Hesher is right. Hesher is right. Elon Musk is a fucking Nazi. It truly was only a matter of time before we get our first Nazi metal story of 2025. That story involves a long-running Detroit venue, Harpo's Concert Theater, and this past Saturday's black metal concert in which Nazi black metal band Belial Key was slated to perform. However, the night's proceedings ultimately were cut short after locals voiced their outrage that bands with neo-Nazi ties would get to perform there. And now, in the immediate aftermath, the venue's owners, Crystal and Roosevelt are trying to save face and minimize damage by releasing a statement where they claim they weren't given details about the concert or who would be performing prior to Saturday night. We were not given certain information during the process of booking this event that could have prevented this from happening. After reflection on our end, we realized that although we should have asked for more and done more to research, we feel that by design they deliberately failed to provide such information. We feel manipulated throughout the entire process and will continue to address where we need to improve. For the event held on Saturday, January 25th, we were not made aware ahead of time that some of the bands were in association with Nazi, neo-Nazi, white supremacy, and or nationalist, socialist black metal. If I were made aware of this ahead of time, this event would never have happened. This was the first time this event organizer has done an event at our venue. In the process of the event, organizers booking this event with Harpo's, this information was never given. It was communicated that it was just a black metal festival, which Harpo's has had many in the past. Anyone else think it's absolutely fucking crazy that a venue owner wouldn't demand more information before allowing any sort of event to take place in their building? I mean, your venue is your livelihood. So why would you run the risk of anything fucking that up? Sounds a little crazy, but let's keep going. According to a report by local ABC affiliate WXYZ Detroit, the show's promoters said they would promote the event themselves and asked Skavutda to not post about it online at all. Red flag. Then, when the promoter began posting flyers for the show, they would announce that the show's location would only be revealed to people that bought tickets again. Red fucking flag. And that's true. If I can find the actual poster that was going around, I'll throw it up here. If not, just whatever. Anyway, that's just odd in and of itself. Like, you got to look at this from a business standpoint. It's kind of dumb. Like, it is probably you probably had a feeling of relief that, we don't have to promote the show. The bands are going to actually do it. This is a welcome change. Maybe these guys are just good guys trying to make it out there. And you fell into the trap of they goofed you. That's just the matter of it. They straight goofed you, and I don't know. It's really hard to defend because at that point it's like, well, if they're giving you a list of all the bands who are playing, you kind of have to take a little bit of initiative to kind of look into them. I'm going to be honest with you. I've never heard of Grand Belal's Key, and I looked them up on YouTube, and in one fucking video, it's like, no, they're fucking Nazis. Like, it's very apparent, and it's very apparent that they appeal to that crowd when most of the crowd, and this is from like, somebody shooting from their cell phone, so they're in there, and all you see is a bunch of Sig Heil, real Sig Heils, not that Elon Musk shit. That's kind of a fuck up on your end. Like, you maybe should have like looked into it. It ain't really that hard. But apparently the lack of any details in the final request by the promoter didn't trigger any warning signs from it's not like he's been the owner and operator of various Detroit nightclubs and venues since 1981 or anything, except we knew he thought something was amiss because he told WXYZ Detroit that it was kind of a red flag to me, but I didn't think too much of it. Nice. Still, the event went on and bands began playing. However, according to the statement released by Debugaba and they only learned that something was amiss about the show once calls began coming into the venue and online posts were made by outraged individuals. At the same time, police were receiving threats about the concert, responded to harpos along with Detroit's fire marshal during the second band set. It was only then, according to Fox 2 News, that took to the stage and shut things down, causing the roughly 250 concert goers to leave the venue. In addition to the old Nazi kerfuffle, the Detroit Fire Department slapped the venue with 24 safety violations, with DFD Fire Marshal Don Thomas outlined in a statement. Okay, old Nazi kerfuffle. That's kind of funny. I'm gonna give him that. But I want to kind of circle around to the roughly 250 concert goers that you couldn't fit in a small bar. All right, you definitely could fit that in harpos. Now, I have been to harpos, and I have played harpos. And thinking about it, with 250 people, that's not really that much, especially for a place like fucking harpos. More than fucking I've ever fucking seen there personally. But definitely, like, not that much. And you gotta actually wonder, like, how many of those people are local? How many of those people, like, know that this band is controversial, even if they have controversial beliefs, and are willing to go from out of state to see them from, like, local fucking states like Indiana or Ohio or shit like that. Which, it's still crazy. 250. I'm surprised, like, what really surprises me is that these fucking, like, weekend warrior, I ain't gonna stand for the old Nazi shit, didn't infiltrate that place and just start videotaping people and shooting pictures and, like, posting it on the internet. I'm gonna give the liberal left and whatever little SJW woke bullshit, whatever you want to fucking say, like, I'm going to give you guys that one. At least you guys weren't that scummy to run into the building and take pictures. But if you're watching this and you're like, damn, that's a good idea, fuck, you're stupid. Upon arrival at the business in question, the Fire Marshal Division noted multiple irregulous life and fire safety violations, including padlocked doors, blocked exits, and no emergency lighting. This is unacceptable. A total of 24 violations were written by the Detroit Fire Department. Now that is fucking true. Holy Great White Batman claims that he had all the appropriate licenses to operate the venue, but that he didn't have them on hand to show the authorities. As for the violations from the Detroit Fire Department, those are going to have to be addressed before Harpo's can get valid business license and reopen its doors. Still, the owners say the whole thing was a mistake and said this wasn't what they or the venue stands for. Although this event was not booked by Harpo's and was booked by an outside event organizer, I am still the owner of the venue and take full responsibility and accountability for not doing my due diligence. I foolishly did not follow up as intensely as I should have. This is not who we are or what we represent. As a black venue owner, now you definitely fucked up there, dog. I fully understand that hate and racism come in all forms and skin tones. However, my race/ethnicity is no defense or excuse for my ignorance of not knowing. Since we took ownership in 2017, I have always been devoted to promoting inclusion of all nationalities at Harpo's and would never intentionally jeopardize the trust that I've earned with the community. I intend on doing everything I can to gain back that trust. Harpo's has a rich history, and I now realize I need to do more to address concerns about vetting bands and doing more research. I have an immense amount of improvement to do, and I need to do better for the sake of my business and community. The outrage and anger is completely understood and shows that there is still some humanity left in this world and that there is still individuals out there that will stand up against what is wrong and hateful. Hate and racism is not something that I or Harpo stand for, encourage, or promote, and I would not knowingly or intentionally hold this type of event at my venue with the risk of losing the support of my community and the venue. This is not who we are. This is not what we represent. In the wake of all this going down, Harpo's has locked down their entire social media presence by closing comment sections of all their posts. Good on everyone that blew this event up and brought it to light. There's no room for Nazis anywhere, let alone metal. Fuck that. Now, this is a complete and utter gerfunkel. Because on one hand, you have a completely and utter pretentious asshole who fucking, like, I don't know. I don't like you, Hesher. I don't like the way you write your articles. It sounds like fucking journal posts that you try to make fucking money off. And when I say journal posts, I mean something that you like right at the end of the day, like you're kicking up your fucking feet. Some people are probably gonna get it twisted, probably saying that I'm like in support of this shit or some shit like that. And no, not really. I mean, good on the people who called it out. Like I said before, if this was at like some small bar who could have profited, like, say what you will. Say what you want. Say what you will. But we all fucking, like, come on, man. These people are already just ruining their life. What's the point of just adding on to it? If any of this stuff that these people preach was true or right, why is it always the dumbest motherfuckers who always are saying it? You never really see a politician saying it. You don't see the president saying it. You wish the president would say that because then it would validate you saying that he's a Nazi, all right? You wish that he would fucking Sig Heil or say white power or something like that. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Now, the people who usually... Now, I'm not saying that the people who have these beliefs don't try to, like, get some power in, like, government. But, dude, are we being fucking serious here? Because the people who you always are trying, that you actually point out who are Nazis, who are marching on American streets, they're never, like, surrounded by a big crowd. And when there is a big crowd, it's always people being like, boo, get out of here. Harpo's, you fucked up. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, really, that's what I'm trying to say. I didn't want it to sound like I was trying to blame the people who are calling this out. No, Harpo's, you fucked up. You goofed on this one. I had to make a video about something, so whatever. Peace, I'm Nihilistic Nemesis.